Back for our next match of the day. This is what, the 1:30 matchup?
I believe so.
It all just kind of runs together after a while anyway. This is The Rock and Columbus. For those of you who just saw Columbus play and you stuck around, you get to see them in back-to-back matches here today. Although the level of competition goes up a couple of notches here with The Rock. So let's see how this goes here to start this first set underway. Again, these are not matches per se. They're just individual sets to 25. It's just pool play to determine what brackets that you end up going into. That's really all it is. Essentially what happens is they put these in groups of 4. There's a bunch of groups of 4. And then what bracket you go in depends on where you finish within your group. So we'll just kind of go through that here in a second. Let's wait to the end of this next point and we'll discuss that a little bit more. Here's Rodriguez. I had to take a little bit off. That was a good dig in the back line, too. Now a 2-0 lead for The Rock. So basically, if you win all of your games to 25, sets to 25 today, you come in first place, you go to Division 1. Second place goes to Division 2. Third place goes to Division 3. Fourth place goes to Division 4. That's just kind of how that works. There's a good play up front by Griselda Memia. And a 3-0 lead for The Rock now. Serve here, left back out front, and Rodriguez just hammered that. Afterwards, let back up at the net, and it's 4-0. So Cariana Ayala with the serve. Set back to the outside. Now The Rock will play it again. Rodriguez, and that's blocked up front. Nice play up at the net.
Huge
by
block.
Maya Schundelmeyer. It's a nice play by Maya, makes it 4-1. We'll set the outside again, and Cariana Rodriguez comes back and hammers one down, and it's 5-1 now, the lead for The Rock.
I believe The Rock is capable of playing at whatever intensity.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So as the other team's intensity begins to rise, you kind of feed off that and rise with them.
So now a 6-1 lead for The Rock. I mean, yeah, you saw that kind of the first game. They kind of came out a little slow and just kind of going a little bit easy.
So to kind of answer that huge block, you can give it credit.
Yeah.
That was a huge block. It was a major kill by The Rock.
So that misses outside on the serve, making it now 6-2 as Emery Wyatt checks in for the Lions. Maya Schundelmeyer with the serve. Set to the outside again. Rodriguez tried to tip it down, and that was played back up and returned into the net. And a 7-2 lead for The Rock. As Tatum Arledge, a 5'5" sophomore, checks in. And that almost went in the hoop. Came close. Now 8-2. Played back line. Put across there by Wyatt. Set in the middle. It's a good block up front. Now back to The Rock again. Track down in the middle. And a nice hit by Lauren Honeycutt. That will fall in, making it now 8-3. Madison Henderson will check in. She will also get set to serve here. It's played up front. Set back in the near side. That ricocheted off the ceiling. Still played and sent back over. Well, that's a pretty good effort from Columbus as Heron managed to save it. And then Rodriguez still gets the point. And 9-3 the lead for the Rock.
And you really know you're getting a good exchange when you're playing it off the ceiling.
And there is an ace, making it now 10-3 as Karyama Rodriguez will serve again. And another ace, makes it now 11-3. Serve here is an ace. So Karyama Rodriguez continues to serve. And that will go out of bounds. So 12-4 the lead for the Rock. As Columbus trying to figure out a way to stay relatively close here. Of course, for the Crusaders, it's more about just playing competitively here and taking some away from these couple of sets as much as it is about winning. A set to the outside, and a good kill there from Kariana Ayala. I'll make it 13-4. Serve here, played back far side, put across by Morgan Honeycutt. Just tipped across, still alive, and sent back over. That's good hustle from the Rock. Rodriguez digs that out along the back line, and this hit in along the far line. Boy, it looks so much like Columbus had a point there, and the Rock just keeps coming up with a couple of plays. Then eventually Ayala puts it down the line. 14-4. And we have an illegal hit on Morgan Honeycutt. Well, in the right, you can tell in this particular set, they've ratcheted up a little bit from the first couple earlier today. They've kind of upped the ante a little bit, if you will. Just slowly starting to build up towards playing at their top level. And for if that's not good news for anyone, it would be Legacy. Legacy is going to have to play them in a couple of matches from now, because they're just consistently kind of upping their game here. (15-4), the Lions lead it. The serve now played back up front and hit out of bounds by Savannah Heron. Now 16-4. Set into that back line, and Rodriguez just took a little bit off of it there, enough to redirect it and find the open spot on the court. Makes it 17-4. And that's out. Making now 17-5. Now Columbus will play it back near side. That put across by Heron. And there's a kill off the hands of Cariana Ayala. And it's now 18-5. Set across. Now Rodriguez fires from the back line and scores. It is 19-5. There is an ace. Maria Hernandez will continue to serve for the Rock. It's 20-5 here in set one. And that will eventually fall in for an ace, and it continues to roll along here for the Lions. 21-5, they lead it. And another ace makes it 22-5. And we've got a timeout to Columbus. 22-5 the lead for the Rock. Be back with more of set number one here in just a moment.
Educating students.
Educating students.
To become servants of Christ. Servants of Christ.
Para llegar a ser servidores de Cristo.
To make a difference in today's world.
Faire une différence dans le monde d'aujourd'hui.
Einen Unterschied in der heutigen Welt zu machen.
Fazer uma diferença no mundo de hoje.
تغييب دنيا داير وزار.
Мы можем изменить сегодняшний мир.
Serve here is an ace. Make it now 3-0.
Our digital scoreboard operator is having some difficulty. He better get it together. He's about to lose his job.
I hope that's not the case, because
You'll be up here alone.
I'm not running the camera and doing that and doing this. I'll tell you that. Another ace makes it 4-0.
We do appreciate everyone for tuning in with us and sharing their Wednesday afternoon with us.
Yeah, it's a 5-0 lead for the Rock. Yeah, we do appreciate you guys kind of hanging out. And for some of you, particularly the last few games, you're probably going to be here for a while, because your team's going to be playing 3 times.
Yeah, these teams have really gotten a special treat. Their fans have gotten a special treat to have so many games up here at Fort Bluff Camp. Let's see how they sorted that out. It's a Rock's Point.
Yeah, and when you talk about how many teams are here, there's over 40 volleyball teams here.
46 teams this week, and they are playing all around the area. Bryan College, a lot of smaller schools, high schools in the area, even outside. And really, I believe it's in schools in 3 different counties in the area. So there is a lot of volleyball action going on around the way.
Well, and the other thing is, it's a very small percentage of teams that end up playing here. So for some of these teams that are playing here 2 and 3 times in day one, you're right, that is a special treat, because I would say, 25% of the teams, if that, end up playing here. Probably much less than that, probably 15 or 20%.
And of course, as it starts getting down to the quarters and semifinals and finals action on Friday, of course, you're going to see a lot of those games. All those championship games will be played here. So those teams can definitely expect it. But this early in the tournament, it's really just by good fortune to be playing here and have your game streamed live nationally in the World Wide Web.
Well, it's a 10-0 lead here for the Rock. In set 2, we got a timeout to Columbus. 10-0 the Rock leads. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more in a moment.
Educating students
Educating students.
to become servants of Christ. Servants of Christ.
Para llegar a ser servidores de Cristo.
To make a difference in today's world.
Faire une différence de le monde d'aujourd'hui.
Einen Unterschied in der heutigen Welt zu machen.
Fazer uma diferença no mundo de hoje.
تغييب دنيا داي روزا.
Мы можем изменить сегодняшний мир.
So out of the timeout, 10-0 the lead for the Rock. And once again, they'll play it here. And tipped across and down by Rodriguez. That'll make it 11-0.
So the Rockers really gotten on a run here in this second set. Opening this second set, and I imagine it's going to be, we're going to see a lot more of this as the tournament develops.
That was played back out front. Rodriguez just put it over.
But if you're back in Indiana, tuning in, a Columbus fan, and there's a score. Again, don't get down.
Yeah, this is a whole nother thing here. I mean,
they're essentially, once again, they're looking for the proper classification for these teams to fall, the proper appropriate bracket for them to play in. the Rock is absolutely going to be top of the mark in that.
Yeah, and again, it can't be stressed enough that these wins or losses don't really mean a whole lot unless you're really striving to be the Division I champion. I mean, if, like for the Rock, for instance, they want to win Division I. That's why they're here. For a lot of these teams, you're here to be put in the right classification for the chance at winning a title, and that will come. Right now, the wins and losses don't mean a lot other than, and of course you want to win, but the wins and losses only mean now, are you going to be in Division II, Division III, whatever. Then when you get put in those classifications, then you really want to win everything that you play, and you're playing all out.
It's almost
a
must-win in a lot of situations.
Right now you want to win, but if you lose, it's not the biggest deal in the world because you'll be put in a spot where you're supposed to be. 13-2 to lead for the Rock.
So while the Rock is really dominating this game, we could very well see Columbus find their way into the finals of the classification they ultimately fall in.
Sure. It just kind of depends on where you're at. And Elmer's going to have to go rescue that volleyball back over there.
I could do it.
So now a 14-2 advantage. You could have almost played that.
I should have.
Shot
I know
it
they can
back
play it
out
off
there.
the ceiling. I don't know if they can play it off the camera operator.
Maybe it counts as a hit if you just kind of hit it back out. 15-2 is the lead for the Rock here in set number 2. And that goes into the net. Make it 15-3. And that's serve from Sabrina Heron into the net. Now 16-3.
And that's really an uncharacteristic serve from Sabrina. It just kind of speaks to the pressure that can build playing against an opponent such as the Rock.
So Tatum Arledge with the ace there, making it 17-3. And that
one's going to fall.
Now 18-3. And we have a timeout to Columbus. 18-3, the Rock with the lead. We'll take a break. Be back with more from the NACA in a moment.
Number 9, Jared Simmons.
So another ace makes it 19-3. As Arledge continues to serve. And that into the net. Now 20-3.
And that was a word from one of our dear sponsors, Bob Jones University. Along with Pensacola Christian College, Bryan College, there's really just a host of great choices. We encourage you to learn more about those schools. Just unbelievable education and athletic programs at all of our schools, all of our sponsors.
And there's another one back up here. Boy, they're keeping you busy. 21-4. They're just going to go ahead and use the other ball, I think. We'll get that one at the end of this particular set. And that serve goes into the net, making it 21-5. That kill will make it 22. By the way, Legacy and Fellowship will follow this match here. And then Legacy will take on the Rock a little bit later on. And that also an ace, making it 23-5. Now 24-5. And back to set point here.
This is a new broadcast. We have new viewers. Educate us one more time real quick about this young lady serving in her role.
Yep, the libero, that's basically a back row only player. That's why they wear that different colored jersey. They do not have to sub in like other players. They can just come in and out. And the libero is strictly a back row player, usually either for serving or strictly defensive purposes is normally what they are, as a defensive specialist.
And her serve will close this one out.
Yep. And the final here is 25-5 here in set 2. We'll have Legacy and Fellowship coming up here in just a few minutes. We will also see the Rock again as well. We'll see the Rock here in about 2 hours. And I'll play one more match here this afternoon. So let's wrap it up for this one. We'll have about 15 minutes or so. We'll get to our next match of the day between Legacy and Fellowship. You have been watching the NACA National Championship Tournament.